So let's have a look now at the program. If we click on program, we have a bunch of settings. These are all available for all instruments here and the presets that you set. Basically, these are actually is the key of the presets that you can do here, where they have tweaked these parameters here to make the changes, and I think includes also the effects that they have changed that makes actually a new preset. Now, one of the most noticeable things here is probably the shimmer one. And what the shimmer one does really is here, it actually has an influence over your sustain and decay, and maybe some other things that it does as well. But these are the main things. And to demonstrate that to you, I think that's the best way to do that, is just give you a clear idea how the sound is different. Now I start at the bass level here at a 0%. And now let's bring it all the way up here. Sounds a lot more crisp and clear here. For some of you, it might be useful. Depends probably on the production. If I bring it all the way up or down now, let's play this. Yeah, it sounds more dull, I feel. So let's bring it up here and maybe slightly more here, so you have some influence. So you choose your level that you feel comfortable here. So you have also a couple of other options. This is the release time of your keys. So if you press something here, if you bring it all the way down, you will see it's very short. Now, if you're not sure where you were, you also can here always go back. If you hold the control key, I believe that's the way you get back here. Yeah, so if you have the control the left mouse key, it will actually go back to where it was. That's a shortcut here to remind if you forget these values. Otherwise, just play around what is comfortable for you here. So as you see also, if you change some of these presets here in your program preset, there is a star now, which indicates you have changed something. In order to go back to your presets, click here again, and it will actually bring it back. Now, if I hold the key here, it will do the same here. Now, if we choose, for example, the Grand 2, it's loading this inside here. Let's load this inside here again. So, all right. Now, the release we just looked at, there is also a key noise. So, as you know, a real piano has a key noise when I hit it. So you can hear that just more. It's mechanical, keep that in mind, and they have actually implemented these recordings here and actually separated them, so you can actually have this as a mix control here in your overall characteristics and settings that you can shape yourself. There's also the timbre, which is probably a thing you might also want to look at. So this actually shapes a lot of the characteristics here of the sound as well. And the dynamic range here. Yeah, so if I bring it all the way to the left, it doesn't seem to have a lot of dynamics. So if I bring it all the way up, let's try this. Yeah, it adds the dynamics. And actually, this actually is also influenced by your velocity curve of your piano. So you have actually two options to change that here. Yeah, so let's use the control key to bring it back here to the center. The timbre does actually the same here. And I also can trim it, so let's... So that's the trimming. I have not used that too much, actually, the trimming one. And the stereo width might be interesting if you want to have more like a mono sound. If you actually want to use this for mono recording, it might be good to bring it actually. It will not widen the sound so much, and if you really want to have it widen it, just bring it all the way up and you will have this. So you also get this wonderful stereo with sound here. Now, one of the hearts of the piano, as you probably know, is always the soundboard, and they have a couple of options here that you can choose from a clean soundboard here to a more like upright style soundboard and so on. Now let me just use one of these other ones here. Go to the bottom. and then choose something here. So it really depends. The difference might be minor, and you got to play over and over sometimes to hear really a difference. But if we do this by hand, it might be more noticeable here to change these things. Let's bring them just up to some extremes here. Yeah, now you hear actually after I release the key a big difference here. So let's bring this all the way down. The last one is actually, it has nothing to do with the soundboard really. That's actually the pedal noise. If I bring this all the way up and hit my pedal, you can hear the sound. Now no one would have it that high unless you put a microphone directly there. So probably leave it in the center where it is, and that makes sense. If you don't like it at all here for your recordings, you can actually turn it off as well. So it doesn't have to be there. So these are basically also the settings that you have in this section here. Now what else here? Yeah, if you like these settings, basically you can always save them here. So if you click on save, you have the save as button as in the presets for velocity here and overall, so you can do that as well. Now there are a couple of other things here. The lid position, if it's open, if not, so depending where you want it. So it gives you of course a more foolish sound if you have it all the way open, usually more dominant. If I probably close it, so let's go close here. As the sound stays within here, the piano, most of it. So that are the options that you could actually also choose here. You also have the option the timbre shift. Now it might be useful for some characteristics that you want to add and goes more into sound design. I haven't used it too much. So I leave it usually there where it is. Now there's also like a stereo perspective. Let's see how that influences the sound. Yeah, so it does influence it a bit. It's the perspective here, really, if it comes from the performer or from the people listening to your audience here. Now you can also add a synth layer, which is basically a second instrument here that you can choose from, and to bring in actually some background and some additional. So they have chosen a few presets here of instruments that you might go through, and some of them really might add value here, especially if you play alone. And that's a really nice feature, I think. I like that actually, because sometimes you just want to have something that's relaxing and add a little background noise and just adds additional layers there to your instrument. Now, you can also transpose these ones here and have some influence here over these effects as well to bring it more into dominance by increasing your gain here. Basically, it makes them louder, or you have also here an influence on the decay and release, depending on what you want to actually do with it and how long you want to have it, how sustaining you want to have it here. So that's basically all of these things here. Of course, you can also turn on here the release samples and the pedal samples again. This depends really if you like to have that or not. It's just something that's more realistic when you play, because you have all these mechanical things around in your piano, and you might want to turn it on and have these sounds as well. If you feel they're disturbing for your ear or something, you can always turn them off as well. Now that's all about the programs really here. Now we will also look in the next video about the different presets here that you can choose from in the series here, in the grand piano series.